Welcome everyone. This is Rowan Stone here with our bi-weekly community update on the 27th of June. Now today Rob and Rolf are both in Montreal, Canada at ZCon 0, which is the ZenCash developer conference. So for the time being you have Rosario and I talking through business development, engineering, research and development and marketing. We'll then have Alan talking through Secure Node update. And then we'll hand over to our regional team to talk about our regional activity. So, as usual, we'll kick off in the same way as we always do. So, highlighting three members of our community that went above and beyond the call of duty over the past couple of weeks. We have Nathan Bode for his assistance at PorcFest, as well as continued support with documentation and helping out the guys with Zen Help. We have 640 Kilobyte for a huge amount of help on the customer support front again, with red penning of documentation. And then we have Mujib Ashola for traveling all the way from Lagos, Nigeria to North Carolina to meet the Zen team at PorcFest. So really hoping we can find a way to work with you in the future. So it goes without saying that ZenCash have a pretty substantially sized team, but at the end of the day, we are a community-driven project and we just wouldn't be able to make the progress we're making without guys like these rolling their sleeves up and really getting stuck in. So I'd like to say a massive thanks from me and the rest of the team to all three of them. Super lucky to have you guys helping us out. So thank you very, very much. Next up is our business development update, starting with a refresher on Cred. So Cred is a micro investment platform targeting mass market. So the best way to describe Cred is that they're going to be very similar to Acorn, except for the crypto world. So they work by allowing users to invest spare change from daily purchases into their own bespoke crypto fund. They're going to be accepting 15 different cryptocurrencies, and the users will be able to pick and kind of create a bespoke fund out of those 15. The main reason for bringing them back to your attention is that they're launching very, very soon. We expect to get a launch date in the next couple of days. We're excited to announce a promo offer for people that buy Zen through the platform. So if you buy Zen through Cred, buy 10 Zen, you'll get 10 Zen free, which we're hoping will be a really great way of enticing users to come and check us out and see that we're a great project to be involved with. Now for the big announcement for this week's live stream. So we have a fairly significant partnership that just went live a couple of hours ago. At Zen, we're constantly trying to find ways of Zen as a currency as useful as physically possible. Ultimately, I want to have it accepted absolutely everywhere. And today we've taken the first kind of big step in the right direction on that front. So as of a couple of hours ago, Zen was accepted as a payment option on the world's largest online entertainment website network for adults. And you'll see there the two kind of primary websites within this network are Pornhub and Brazzers, which between them have over 115 million daily users. So there's 14 websites in total. I'm not going to go through all of them here in detail. If you keep an eye on our social media channels over the coming days, you'll see the sites that we're talking about, and you'll see the kind of caliber of daily traffic that they achieve. So really excited to be expanding usability for Zen into a new market. What I would like to highlight is that we are not turning Zen into a porn coin. Nothing along those lines. This is the first big industry we've moved into, but it is not the only industry we're moving into. So we have many other partnerships to follow. Next up is Bycrip. So Bycrip is a classified ad marketplace that allows users to buy and sell goods and services. They accept a pretty decent range of cryptocurrencies: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and now ZenCash. The good thing is that they offer a free escrow service to make sure that users are protected. And they have quite a decent amount of adverts live on there already. So if you check out bycrip.com, you can now place an advert to sell your goods for Zen, or you can purchase goods that are already on sale there with Zen. In the next week or so, they'll also be adding exchange functionality for ZenCash. So really excited to be on that platform as of today. We're also announcing a partnership with Trillant. Now, Trillant are a fractional ownership ATM network, and What I mean by that is that they allow their token holders to buy stakes in individual ATMs and then earn a share of the profits for holding the tokens. Great group of guys, really, really ambitious. They're hoping to put 500 ATMs all around Europe in 2019. Really happy to announce that Zen will be accepted during their ICO, as well as being available to buy and sell throughout their entire network of ATMs once the project goes live. Now, obviously, as always, I need to caveat this. So ZenCash do not endorse ICO projects. We are not here offering investment advice. So what I would like you to do is go and check out Trillant.io, have a little look, do your own research, and come to your own conclusions. But really, really happy to say that ZenCash will be in their ATM network when they go live in 2019. Over onto engineering. So the big thing we have to talk about here is that Zen 2.0.11 will auto-deprecate on June 28th at block 332576. So Swing Wallet needs to be upgraded. Secure nodes also need to be moved over to 2.0.14, which we'll talk about a little bit further on. But why? So the main thing here is that the engineering team have been working extremely hard over the past couple of months now on the hard fork. Hard fork is due for July 19th, and it includes quite a large number of improvements to the core code base, but it also includes things like a fork manager to help us ensure that future hard forks are dealt with in a kind of clean and professional manner. And it includes a change to the block distribution rewards, which we'll talk about in a couple of slides. So moving from the previous structure, which was 88% to miners, 3.5% to secure node operators, and 8.5% to the treasury, to instead 70% to miners, 10% to the treasury fund, and then 10% to secure nodes and 10% to super nodes. New functionality added in is the op return function, which allows the storage of up to 80 bytes of data in a unspendable transaction on chain. Now, there's lots of different use cases for that functionality. Already we've been speaking to Flowcrypt, who want to store PGPs on chain. So PGP keys on chain, should I say. So really excited about that. That's really great stuff. There's also the ZCash 1.0.14 improvements, as well as some from 13, including the low memory prover, which reduces joint split creation mem usage. So down from 3 gig to 1.7 gig. We have an experimental feature, which is payment disclosure. So that's the new RPC calls you can see there, and also support for viewing keys. Now, viewing keys, if you don't know what they are a key that allows read access, if you like, to a shielded address. So if you need to prove that there are funds there, if they need to be audited or anything like that, you can provide a third party with a viewing key, which gives them the read-only access, if you like, without actually having any control over the funds themselves. This is basically just a refresher to our Swing Wallet users. So Swing Wallet must be updated by the auto-deprecation date, which is tomorrow, to include the Zen 2.0.14 binaries. Don't worry if you don't have a chance to update before tomorrow. The Zen will still be safe. It just simply won't function when you load the wallet. So you will need to update in order to regain access and move funds. Now, this is a kind of solid refresher on the change of rewards and when the changes come into effect. So we've had a little bit of confusion previously. So I just wanted to highlight that the reward change from the previous structure to the new structure will commence on July 19th, which is the mandatory update, the hard fork date, block 344700. So you can see there, as I mentioned just a little bit previously, the previous reward structure and the new reward structure. So just to clarify, July 19th is the date. We've also had quite a number of questions on Zen Help about the hardware requirements for the upcoming supernodes. So just to kind of clarify, the supernodes require a static and public IPv4 and IPv6 address, whereas secure nodes, it's one or the other. Because supernodes will be tasked with tracking and payment, they need to be able to communicate with both v4 and v6. The supernodes will require 4 CPU cores, 8 plus gigs of RAM, 100 plus gigs of storage, and a 500 Zen stake held in a wallet under your own control. Alan, are you available to talk through the secure node update, perchance?
Yes, I am.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. We're working on finalizing and testing the API features, and targeting this weekend. Might slip a little bit as we were updating. The updates to the testnet took a little longer than anticipated, but it'll be an actual API that third-party apps can access and get data from the secure node servers. There'll be a key registration rather than using an email address for the My Pages. So there'll be a little re-registration process that you'll go through once that is available and deployed on the mainnet. But it's a very simple: enter your email, enter your email address, get an email, click on the confirmation in the email, and it just updates so that you don't have to use your email address any longer on the website. We also have the new tracker in testing, the 0.3.0, and this is a combined tracker for the secure and super node. So we're prepping that for a super node deployment next month. There's no need to update the secure node with the tracker at this time. It has all the similar functionality. It's just for splicing in all the super node connections and functionality. Along with what we're doing with all the nodes, we have we're changing providers. So we're migrating our infrastructure to a new provider. And that's taking some time to be thorough in configuring and testing the servers. So the timing on the migration and the timing on super nodes is dependent on what we run into in the new infrastructure. Also on the secure nodes, it says 12,000 here on the slide, but we have surpassed 13,000 registered secure nodes, and that just seems to keep increasing, and we expect it to keep increasing, especially with the change in rewards and the hard fork hits. And I'd also like to give a big shout out to Ultimate Blockage, P-Stew, and Stoic Nathan, for the documentation that they've been working on. If you haven't seen the documentation for secure nodes, these guys have been doing a phenomenal job pulling everything together, making it clear and concise, and creating guides and instructions for all aspects of the secure nodes. And I'm sure we'll be working on similar for super nodes. Back to you, Rowan.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. On to research and development. So there's quite a large amount of things ongoing just now, and we're starting to see things slowly come together. So we have kind of three high-level topics here. We have governance, which is talking about our decentralized autonomous organization, treasury and voting system prototype. So IOHK delivered the functional prototype as planned, and I would urge you all to go and check out the demo, which is now available. They're also working to improve security and reviewing a lot of the source code to really make sure that what we deliver works as intended first time. As well as governance, they're looking at scaling. Extremely important. This is where we're talking about moving to a block-based DAG. They're currently prototyping Phantom and working through a number of different security concerns to make sure that they are dealt with long before we even consider starting moving into this space. And the last thing is the sidechaining. So sidechaining is really important and huge for the Zen project. Sidechains are what's going to open up the Zen platform to allow third parties to start developing applications on our network. So at the moment, they have determined that RSK is not a suitable sidechaining solution, and they're now moving into exploring Cosmos. And with that, I will hand over to Rosario for our marketing update.
Well, thank you, Ron. All right. Well, hi, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank all individuals who took the time to fill out a comprehensive survey about Zen. A lot has developed over the last year, and our community has grown quite a bit since the launch of the project. So about 4 weeks ago, we posted a survey on Discord to gain a better understanding of the community thoughts and the things that are important to you in your participation with ZenCash. So I appreciate all those who participated. We got an overwhelming support, and you generally shared all your thoughts with us. So that was very. We're currently in the process of reviewing the responses, and this will help us improve our communications with you. We've observed a few themes so far, which shouldn't be a big surprise. So privacy is important to our community. Building an ecosystem that allows services and products to be built on secure and private networks that is censorship resistant was a big attraction to our community. There's also a recurring theme on Zen core values and what the Zen brand represents to our community and each individual. There's a mention of trust in the team, being a solid team that is transparent and actively communicates effectively with the community. And this was good feedback to hear. So these bi-weeklies are an example of us engaging in that transparency and that feedback and having the direct conversations with the community and having that Q&A section where people can ask anything that they'd like to us at the team. So we got to also learn where these individuals first heard about ZenCash, which is important to understand where we should target our marketing efforts. And as you can see here on the slide, YouTube was a big one, anywhere from Vosk, from Block Ops, and other interviews that are circulating around the YouTube space right now. Bitcoin Talk was another one that was a good one. One that was really interesting to me was Friends. There was quite a few people that have heard of ZenCash through word of mouth. So that was great to hear. And even from other projects. So being fans of Zcash and liking what we're doing here. So that was also interesting to hear. So again, thank you very much for participating and congrats to the happy winners. These were randomly selected. And I'll give you a teaser. Something big is coming on the marketing side of things that we'll be announcing soon. So stay tuned to the biweekly calls and we will announce any of that news here first. So stay tuned. Next slide, please. All right. Well, I'm really happy to, now that we're in the second quarter, if you could believe that end of the second quarter, I'm really happy with our metrics, especially in this market that we've had so far. It's really good to see our growth and in our performance metrics. So we look at these metrics frequently, and I'd like to paint a story. So I'd like to see chunks of data in terms of quarters and also build a story behind that because you can't just look at numbers. You have to apply full context in order to get the full story. So from the website and blog perspective, our overall numbers have improved in comparison to the first quarter. We've had 78 new users in the first compared to the first quarter. And it's particularly great to see this because we've had increased effort in improving our blog content. We wanted to make it the single place for people to reach out for Zen news. So that growth is primarily due to that increased in content in the blog. As for the page for views, we did see a drop from in May and then increase back in June. So we are continuously increasing the most popular pages. The one that's following next is Secure Nodes. That's going to be significantly revamped, and we'll add a Supernode page as well. From an international growth perspective, also really happy to see the increase. As you can see, we've had tremendous growth, particularly in Spanish, Korean, Chinese, Italian, Japanese, and French. And of course, our largest markets continue growing. Those are Russian and German. So a big focus for us is to make content available in native languages to attract more users and to tailor our messaging to different users. So big congratulations to our regional teams who translate and promote their content in their native languages. So on the right-hand side, you see that's a kind of a mouthful, but on the right-hand side, you see the newsletter graph, and the growth has been remarkable. Jonathan has been with our team for 2 months, and he's brought fresh ideas from Amazon. So that's something that we've been implementing here to grow our subscriber list. And I will point out that we've consistently had open rates above industry average. So that's a team effort, and thanks to Laura and Callie for focusing the content on that newsletter. All right, moving to the next slide. So these are our social media charts, and as you can see, we've had continuous growth despite the rough times in crypto right now. So as a whole, in terms of our social media channel, we've had a 21% increase from the first quarter, and we've also seen increased impressions on Twitter for 500,000. And our biggest channels of growth have been LinkedIn and Facebook. So it's very interesting to understand that. And of course, people enjoy video content, so we've increased production of video, and we'll see more in the upcoming weeks. We will have some teasers as engineering provides the engineering solutions that are on our roadmap. So those are going to be upcoming in the following weeks. The chart below, I'm not sure if it's readable for most people, but I do want to highlight the growth and the peaks in certain areas. So as you can see, we had a huge peak in June 3rd, and that was from significant news interest in seeing how Zen responded to that 51% double spend attack that we had. And it was great that our response brought more attention to Zen, and that we focused our communications on the actions that we're taking and being proactive on these issues. So the obvious observation here in this bottom slide is that we get additional interest as we release news about engineering solutions that were coming next with our 2 new white papers with Supernode sidechains that was released in March. You see the peak in March. And also on the June 14th, the Satoshi Consensus white paper, the change to the Satoshi Consensus white paper. So we are going to focus on continued trending and targeting our messaging to highlight our achievements on the engineering side, on the BD side, and as an effort as a whole. All right, moving to the events. All right, so our team has been busy holding meetups around the world, and having a team that is approachable and available to newcomers is important, because when people want to learn more about Zen, it's great that we are available and around to answer any questions. So we want to continue increasing this outreach and having our regional teams all over the world connecting with people. And it's really important to us that we continue growing at the grassroots level. So we are working on an ambassador program that will help us grow and reach more people at the grassroots level. I want to point out here in this picture, we have Rowan with Max Kaiser on the lower bottom right-hand side. And if you haven't checked out his interview, it was amazing. So please check it out. And special thanks, obviously not all-inclusive here, but we've had Spencer, Rowan, Angie, Ruben, Jake, Jane, Jonas, and Nate, and many others around the world that are representing us very, very well. Also here, I have Mujib. I saw him on YouTube. Hey, Mujib. You came all the way from Lagos, Nigeria, and Rowan mentioned it was PorcFest, but it's actually Cryptolina. So thank you for coming all the way from Lagos to Raleigh to meet us. It really inspires me to meet individuals like yourself that have been touched by Zen, and happy to have positive impacts on people's lives. So, all right, let's go to the next slide for upcoming events. Ron mentioned that Rob and Rolf are both in Montreal. So really happy that they're out there building relationships with the ZenCash team, which we greatly admire. After that, Rob is headed to New Orleans to speak at a libertarian conference. And Rolf and Jake will educate young minds at the Young Americans for Liberty in Virginia. So stop by to say hi if you're in that area. Or if you're in Taipei, say hi to Jane at the Asia Blockchain Summit. So as I mentioned in the previous slide, we are switching gears a bit to focus more on the grassroots efforts like meetups. We'll have more guidance on an ambassador program for anyone around the world who would like to support. The intent here is not to have a grandiose event. The intent is to have small local meetups and to spread the word of Zen and have conversations about what Zen is bringing to the industry. And that concludes my updates for marketing. And now I'll hand it off to David for some regional updates on CIS.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I'm actually right now in Minsk, Belarus, and I tried hard asking landlord to fix the internet. There was kind of barely enough to have this audio call, and I hope I'm coming across clearly. And if I'm not, Rosario just shout at me to shut up, and I'll let you read off my slides. So can you hear me well, just to make sure?
Loud and clear, David.
Excellent, very good. So as we've been saying, we finally had this Tbilisi Blockchain Bitcoin Conference participation. We had Rob speaking, as you see, giving his free-spirited speech. It actually had quite a bit of echo. The organizer sent me like a separate email thanking me, like individualized one, not the one that's auto-generated after all the participations, and they definitely invited us next time. We had a decent booth and a lot of people stopping by and like saying, "Oh, I'm mining your coin, and I can't believe you guys are here." As you know, Georgia is actually #1 in the world per capita mining of Bitcoin, and #3 in the world after China and US of a total Bitcoins being mined, the absolute number I'm talking about, for a tiny country size of South Carolina. Anyway, then I was fortunate to have Rob there a couple more days, and we had a few meetings, most notably with the United Technology Group. That's country's probably one of the largest technology conglomerate that has a lot of tech project as well as government contracts as regards to new technology. So it was a good thing we arranged that. Now I'm going to let Alex talk about his marketing outreach. He did the middle 2 points here. And as far as the last point, I'm actually in Minsk now, and I just met Imagur, and I have another meeting with him. So I'll probably provide more updates when I have everything organized for the next community meeting. So, Alex, do we have you online, or should I struggle through all the secret missions you've been in Russia?
I mean, you could. I'll rather you,
but not as good as you. All right, go ahead.
All right. So basically, we are doing local marketing outreach. What we do in English, we as well do in Russian. So any YouTubers, Telegram groups, anyone out there who wants to have his voice heard, who has a platform, please reach out to me. It's alex@zencash.com. Let's have an interview. You can ask me any kind of provocative questions that you have. I'm not afraid. So last week, I did 2 of them. It's BMiner, that's a YouTube channel, and Satoshi's 11 Friends, that's a big Telegram group. There are also a few others which are being prepared right now, but I would really want to just pump those numbers up and not have only 2 next bi-weekly, but like a whole list. Another item is, since IHK has finally released the demo, I'm able to start preparing a developer meetup in Moscow. So it'll be really focused on tech, on actual development. So for any geeks out there, just be on the lookout. I don't want to give concrete dates, but I really want to make it happen in 2 to 3 weeks. That's it from my side.
All yours, Rosario.
Well, thank you, David. Thank you, Alex, for those amazing updates. And we have Arno from CIS next.
Yeah, hi, everyone can hear me?
Well, yes, we can.
Okay, great. So I will make it short. Thanks, first of all, to Sebastian from the GD Paintball Group. It's not the Dynasty US-American team, which maybe some of the paintball fans know. It's not so famous, but it's a local team from my region. We had a lot of fun. We took some smoke grenades this time there. It was on the 16th this month. It was open. Sadly, no community member or no community members were there. But still, it was fun. It was good. More videos coming up. And you still can't hear me? Is the sound okay?
Yeah, sound is good on my end.
Okay, cool. So, and the second point is that Jos, actually our Netherlands country representative, was in Amsterdam at the Blockchain Expo, where he could use the Koinomi wallet on his smartphone to pay for a coffee. And here are some pictures on the right side. Great experience, and really also from the business development side, I'm happy that all our new and latest integrations and corporations are working out to increase the usability. So it was kind of a proof of concept at the conference in Amsterdam. And then the last point is that Jonas, the country representative from Austria and Switzerland, is picked and invited as an industrial representative for the Blockchain Research Accelerator. I cannot spoil the date yet, but I think in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I can put more information about it. It's in Germany, in Berlin hosted. That is the information which I can put out right now. The rest is coming later, and that's all from my side.
Well, thank you, Arno, and imagine your baby there. So it's nice to hear a young Zenner. All right, Luke.
Hello, Rosario. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So, buongiorno, everybody. Hope you are all enjoying this big weekly call. Let's now talk a little bit about Italy. So, first of all, I'd like to invite everybody who's going to be in the nearby area in Milan in joining the Campus Party event, which is going to take place in Milan between July 18 and July 22nd. So Campus Party is the largest event dedicated to innovation and creativity for those who don't know it. It's going to be huge as always, but this is just the second edition in Italy, and I'm very happy to be among the speakers. So not only it will be the chance for me to present ZenCash to a large audience, but actually also with you if you are. Sorry for the sound if it's not perfect, but I'm traveling in this. Then speaking about the last 2 weeks, they have been extremely intense, but really rich of satisfaction. I've met more than 10 people that were interested about ZenCash secure nodes. So part of the job has been presenting the theory that is behind it, but then we also switched to practice and created one as an exercise. The feedback received was super positive, so I'm planning to repeat this kind of activity in the next future. Contact me if you are interested and if you are here nearby. And another activity in which I'm spending energies in the community is the community engagement, because everybody knows that a strong community is a key factor to scale the market. So I'm focusing on some upcoming contests, including the ZenCash Treasury Hunt in summer. I already spoke a little bit about it before, and I will do so again in the future. But I'm also trying to stimulate our Italian community base with the production of user-generated content. So in particular, I have been talking with Chiara, an Italian artist, and she came up with the idea of creating a set of ZenCash stickers for Telegram. This is just one idea, but I immediately thought that it was really cool. She's producing awesome graphics that might be even becoming t-shirts one day. You can see an early draft on the slide. Can't wait to see them live. And by the way, she's one of the people in the Zen Valley who are now accepting ZenCash as a payment method. So if you have a cool idea for a t-shirt or whatever, feel free to contact her on Facebook. Back to you, Rosario.
Thank you, Luca. Those were some amazing updates, and those stickers look so cool. So
thanks.
All right. So now we have from the Latin America region team. This is Lava's first call for the biweekly.
Hi, Rosario. Thank you. Yes, so we have a lot of great updates and a lot of awesome activity going on in Latin America. We continue to strengthen our social media presence. We're driving Spanish language content all over the place, engaging with the community on an ongoing basis through Facebook, Telegram, etc. We're also strengthening our presence with the Latin American region by providing support and guidance in Spanish. In concert with the Zen vision, which is to make us the most user-friendly, most inclusive project in the industry. We want to mirror that in Latin America, and our goal is to translate all the ZenCash content into Spanish. So we're working towards that goal. Over the last month, Ruben, one of our big rock stars in Mexico, has personally translated 11 blog posts. He's done all the white papers, the last biweekly status, basically everything you could think of. Getting that all translated into Spanish. And coming up soon, we're going to be working on, or actually we've already been working on the secure node guide to get that translated into Spanish for Latin American community so they can easily start setting up secure nodes. We're also working with our community on proposals for meetups all across Latin America. So stay tuned. We have meetups coming up to a town near you in Costa Rica, Colombia, and also Venezuela. We're also establishing grassroots efforts and embarking on a philanthropic mission to help kids in Cucuta, Colombia, learn about crypto. We're doing this by partnering with David Hayes' Crypto Cucuta project. And we're also moving forward with the Crypto Conserje project, which is going to establish point-of-sale terminals at businesses there in Cucuta so they can begin accepting ZenCash. And lastly, we are planning for our inaugural Zen meetup in Los Angeles coming next month. So if you're near Los Angeles, look us up on meetup.com so you can find the dates and the location for our meetup that's coming up here. That's about it for the overarching Latin American market. I'd like to turn it over to Angie, another rock star in Mexico, who is going to talk about the activities in the Mexican market.
Hey guys, hear me?
Angie, are you there?
Yeah.
There you are. Go ahead, Angie.
Okay. So to start with our Mexican market updates, we've been working with Uno, which is a group, a Mexican group that creates content and audio visuals. So we are launching our ZenCash campaign with Crypto Uno, which is a video series, and we really want to take out the ZenCash Mexican and Latin American audience out there. So beginning explaining everything about us, and we're super happy about it. So you will see some Spanish videos out there coming up pretty soon. We're also going to have English subtitles for other people to also understand the content, and we're going to about ZenCash in Spanish language. So you gifts that I made some videos. We also had a 30-minute interview with Papa Bitcoin and Cryptos all the way from Colombia. He interviewed Ruben and I, and we explained in Spanish, of course, about the 51% attack to the audience, and we talked about white paper and all of our responses and reactions, because we've seen that the community very active and they really want to get in from secured node operators that they speak Spanish. So we really want to encourage people to be part of ZenCash. So we're really putting a lot of good efforts into that area. And we also had a meeting, a meetup hosted by one of our community members, Pepe, in Tabasco, where they talked about ZenCash and exchanged some information. So as you can see, we are trying to be very supportive and have as much as content as possible out there in the Spanish language. We for the airdrop on PandaX, which is an exchange from Venezuela and Colombia, the airdrop of ZenCash is already in. So for the users of Panda Exchange, now ZenCash is available. So I think that's it. We're doing pretty great, and thanks.
Well, thank you, Angie. Thank you, Levis, for those updates. Your efforts are showing tremendously. So we had just in the Spanish language 449% increase over the last quarter. So it's been a quite a remarkable effort that you guys have been doing in the outreach. So thank you for that. All right. So I don't believe Jung Hung is online right now, but if you come online, feel free to interrupt me, Jung Hung. Next slide is the Korean market, and Jung Hung is going to be participating in the Blockchain Open Forum on June 28th, so tomorrow. So if you're in the Seoul area, please stop by. He's going to be wearing a ZenCash t-shirt, and stop by and say hello to him. He's also attending different events, so Chainers in 1 to July, and holding a ZenCash meetup, the second one on July 11th. So he will be announcing that on the different social media channels, the Korean specific Kakao Talk Korean channel. So stop by and enjoy some pizzas, chicken, and beer. And I believe this is the last slide for region teams. So next up is a Q&A section. So thank you for watching. Don't forget, if you're on our YouTube channel, to please click that upvote and follow us on our different social media channels. So yes, it's time for that questions. And Rowan, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. So we've had quite a few questions, actually. First question, is there a simple way to make a secure node, like a program that sets it up for you? At the moment, we don't have that functionality. It for sure is something we need to do in the future. It's not immediately on our roadmap, but once we get our current crop of engineering problems out of the way, we will most likely look to do something along those lines. Haven't entirely decided exactly how we're going to set it up so far, but it is something we'll be looking at in the future for real kind of usability.
And Alan mentioned this during when he was chatting about secure nodes. We do have a comprehensive guide now that is available for secure nodes.
Absolutely, yeah. So documentation.zencash.com, we have a pretty substantial set of information for all topics ZenCash related. The guys in the customer support team have done an ace job putting it together. Huge resource. I urge you guys to go and check it out. I'd also like to mention that what we're trying to do here is create a kind of open and permissionless ecosystem. And one of the beauties of that is that we've already had a number of different organizations set up in order to provide services. And one of the services that we've got an increasing number of people offering is the setup of secure nodes. So probably the best place to really look at that is in our over-the-counter channel. Make sure you do some due diligence. But yeah, there's plenty of different organizations and people out there that are willing to help out and either run it for you or guide you through the process into setting up a node. Next up, we have, what do we have? When are you guys coming to London? We will be in London a couple of times towards the end of the year. So we're going to be in London for Blockchain Live, September 26th. And we'll also be in London again for the Great British Business Show, 14th and 15th of November. Is Pornhub accepting ZenCash soon true? Yes. So currently ZenCash is accepted as a payment method on Pornhub, Brazzers, Traffic Junkie, and Nutaku. And there will be a further 10 websites in the same network that will be going live in the next couple of weeks. So we'll announce each individual integration as and when they go live, but for the time being, the two largest ones that ZenCash is accepted as a payment for are Pornhub and Brazzers, and that's live as of today. What else do we have?
I saw a question about Cred. So people were asking if there was a cap. So there was 10 Zen and then the promotion of 10 free Zen. So are you aware if there's any cap?
I believe it's one promotional chunk of 10 Zen free per person. So if you buy 10 Zen, you get 10 free. Unfortunately, if you buy 1,000 Zen, you're not going to get 1,000 free. No, if that's kind of what the question's going. What else do we have? We have a question on ASIC resistance, quite a large question to answer. The short answer is that we don't know at this point. There's still quite a number of unknowns. The short-term easy option potentially is just to change the Equihash parameters. However, at this point, we don't have confidence that the ASIC manufacturers can't just simply tweak the hardware in order to make it compatible with any number of different parameter changes for Equihash. So it's not quite as simple as throwing resource at a parameter change. If we can get to a point where we know that a parameter change will have an effect, and will have an effect for a reasonably decent amount of time, so 3 to 6 months, then it would likely be a way that we would go. But at this point, we don't have that confirmation. What else do we do? Question for you, Rosario. When can we get ZenCash shirts?
Yeah, so we are very excited that in the upcoming, actually very soon, we'll have our store online. So it will definitely be this early third quarter.
Nice. Has anyone else seen any other questions in any of the different platforms? I've had to log out of YouTube for internet issues.
There's a question on Supernode staking rewards. And the question is, can someone explain the part about the multi-sig actors?
Multi-sig address for supernodes, not something I'm aware of. I can see that Chronic is typing at the moment, so he might have a reply to that. No, Chronic has typed a question. Is setting up a supernode the same as setting up a pure node? Just the difference in the amount of coins. So there's two differences. There will be a slight tweak to the software, but the actual setting up will be the same. There'll be a lot of similarities between the two processes, basically be identical. The two main differences are set the supernode up on and the amount of coins you need to hold in a local wallet.
So there's another question on the flagship wallets. So we are right now with the flagship wallets, it is undergoing internal testing. Our user experience group has had some feedback. So there's some adjustments to the user experience. And we're expecting that to be in the upcoming months available for actually very soon for testing and following that production. And here I see a question from store is opening up, so no rebranding. I said, well, it's we've had some teasers of this, so you'll have to wait and see and dial into the following biweeklies. But as of right now, we're planning on releasing the store in the early third quarter. Okay, I don't see any new questions, Rowan.
I'm not seeing anything at this end.
Okay, so I think this is one last question. Supernodes, is there an estimate of supernodes to be expected to launch? And we did have some projections on the white paper, and the whole point of having the supernode release prior to the actual supernode software was just to have a gradual growth and having those not come in all at once.
We've also got a question here. How is ZenCash going to deal with the prevalence of SEC? How can ZenCash win among other privacy coins? So that is an extremely difficult question, and it's a huge challenge not just for ZenCash, but for basically everybody in the cryptocurrency industry. So what we want to do is try and be extremely open about everything that we are creating and do our best to really educate regulators to ensure that they make educated decisions about how best to assist with the wild, wild west that is crypto. So we don't want to run away from regulators, which may be a strange thing to be saying. We definitely want to try and work with them to ensure that we don't end up with broad brush regulation, which would be damaging for the entire industry. We have a question: did ZenCash pay Pornhub for acceptance as payment method? So I can't speak about specific details of the deal. Commercial agreements are always covered by non-disclosure, but I can confirm that we did make a payment and that we negotiated what we think is an extremely good deal for ZenCash.
Yeah, and Rowan, I'd like to just highlight how good your team is in terms of the business development and achieving having the best interest for the foundation, the community, and also the sustainability of our project. So we tend to be very, very conservative in how we utilize our funding. So you've done a tremendous job in that, Rowan.
Thank you very much. I think that basically rounds up all of our questions.
Yes, I think it's a wrap. Well, thank you everybody for watching, and please join us on our next bi-weekly. Don't forget to click that thumbs up, and we'll talk to you at the next one.